You can hold a Liberal Party room meeting in a Toyota Tarago. Australians are sick and tired of the revolving door of leadership. Whoever is leading the Libs next year needs to take a leaf out of Chris Dawson's book. So Libby, when you do ice David, do it to his face.
There's a spill in the air.
David Honey's been leader of the Liberal Party for 247 days and they're already calling for him to be replaced.
Off with his head!
Now, I like the idea of taking the piss out of David Honey as much as the next man, because some people reckon it was inappropriate for the leader of the Liberal Party to be a member of an exclusive all-male institution. David Honey, he's the Liberal Party leader, not that you'd know it because he doesn't seem to do much, but even I reckon it's a bit harsh calling for someone's head because he hasn't won back government 8 months after the greatest electoral thrashing in history and more than 3 years before the next election. What do these agitators expect from him? He is one of only 2 Liberals in the lower house. Every day of his life is like that last scene from the movie 300. When there are only 2 of you, you can't fight a battle on every front.
You learn nothing from the Nazis?
You've got to play what boxers call rope-a-dope. Protect yourself because it's too easy to punch yourself out.
Madam Moron. The Minister... You're a first-rate idiot.
Pardon?
If you do that, you'll lose your legs. You've got to be patient, even if it means taking a beating in the short term. Wait for the government to expose itself and then take your shot.
Well, David Honey's no Mark Wahlberg. The question is he leadership material?
Well, they never look like leadership material when they're this new in the job. It's only in their last year as opposition leader that politicians start looking like real leaders. Mark McGowan never looked the goods when he took over from Eric Ripper back in 2012. He was called Sneakers back then. We've all forgotten this now. He was crawling so far up the arses of real leaders, all you could see was the Dunlop volleys hanging out the back. McGowan didn't look like a leader when he was annihilated at the 2013 election. Colin Barnett, probably the strongest, read arrogant leader we've had since Charlie Court, didn't look like that in 2005 when he came up with Collins Canal. Little Johnny Howard was a national joke when he first became Liberal leader in 1985, pulverised by Bob Hawke in 1987. And that little Poindexter went on to become one of the most respected Prime Ministers in Australia's history.
But we will decide who comes to this country and the circumstances in which they come.
Certainly the only Prime Minister who's had to wear a bulletproof jacket. McGowan might have to start doing that though.
So maybe Honey just needs more time.
Australians are sick and tired of the revolving door of leadership.
Who's agitating for the change?
Normally that's pretty difficult to work out, but there are actually only 9 Liberals in the whole of state parliament. You can hold a Liberal Party room meeting in a Toyota Tarago. You know some of David's colleagues. Libby Mettam is the other Liberal in the lower house, who says the Libs don't take gender equity seriously. Steve Thomas was a vet before becoming a politician. His 17 years' experience at putting down sick animals will come in handy when the party inevitably deals with the honey question. Peter Collier and Nick Garand are the highest profile Liberals, for all the wrong reasons. Donna Faragher was best known as being the woman in the sausage fest that was Colin Barnett's final cabinet. Jorn Sidmer is best known for having an unpronounceable name that gets you out of a hole when you've got crap tiles in Scrabble. And like Jorn, Neil Thompson spends his life telling people how to spell his name. And finally, there's Steve Martin. Unfortunately, it's not that Steve Martin. It's this one.
Not many people have heard of him.
I had no idea who he was, so I clicked on his biography. Apparently Steve Martin is so boring, even Steve Martin isn't interested in talking about him.
Doesn't sound like David Honey is losing any sleep, though.
Why would he? He knows he's going to get ice sometimes next year, so he may as well just relax. The federal Libs are urging their state colleagues not to act before the federal election is held because it might be a distraction. And Lord knows Scott Morrison has enough of those already. Whoever is leading the Libs next year needs to take a leaf out of Chris Dawson's book. Dawson was at a business breakfast today that was hosted by the West Australian. He gave a very neat 5-point plan for good leadership. The first tip was you are a product of your priorities.
But you know that old thing, live fast, die young? Not my way.
meaning you have to set clear goals.
Die young, die old.
The wilderness is always nice for goal setting.
Yeah. The second point was that a leader without scars has not learnt from his or her experience. He means learn from your mistakes.
That's it. I've been made redundant.
The Liberals have got to know there's no Hail Mary magic bullet solution to their problems. It's incremental wins through hard work. Third, the best investment you can make as a leader is time in developing leaders who will be better than you.
The fella who nicked me job. Didn't nick it? Nah, didn't want it anymore. He begged for it. I didn't.
That takes confidence in yourself.
And who in the Liberal Party's got any confidence at the moment? But if Libby Mettam and David Honey don't convince Zach Kirkup to run for office again, it will be a missed opportunity they will regret for the next 2 terms in opposition. Setting a vision and making the plan simple was Dawson's 4th point. The Liberals have a blueprint from Bill Clinton on this one. They need to let everyone know McGowan's failed to contain debt, the number of public servants is through the roof, and the health budget is out of control. And Dawson's 5th leadership tip, communicate your message personally, face to face.
Promise me you'll remember one thing.
Not Zoom or Teams. Say it when you can see the whites of their eyes. So Libby, when you do Ice David, do it to his face.
Cool party.
I'm Ben Harvey. For more Up Late, click the subscribe button below.